Hello and welcome back to the Irish Collegiate Champion Finals. Next up on the card is the Division 2 final we've all been excited for. I am David Wims. Alongside me is Rob Goes to Dreams Price. And Rob, you hyped for Div 2?
I cannot wait for this. This is actually, I think, for a lot of people, the game they've been looking forward to the most all day. A lot of the guys know each other, and it's just going to be so close.
I know. I mean, these two teams have already met earlier in the tournament. We saw DCU Titans take an upset 2-1 win over NCI, but NCI were kind of playing around with roster changes at the time. So looking to come back into this with the fully formed team ready to get revenge.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They've had so much time to kind of prep, you know who you're playing against. It means you've got a chance to really do your homework, and that's what it's going to come down to in this. Is, you know, what can they bring to the table? I know, say you're looking at like Sharks, big Rek'Sai player. If you try and take that out of the board, what do they go to? What's the next step for them? Or, you know, with the likes of Equinox Bowlake in the top lane for DCU, big Nautilus player, looking very shaky on a lot of other champions. So if you take that off, he's got to have something in the back pocket. He's been hinting at it, but I don't really know if he does.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when it comes to these lower divisions, a lot of the players do tend to have those smaller champion pools, one specific style that they like to play. You brought up Sharks and Equinox Bowlake as two good examples. And I mean, it's kind of a general trend. I mean, especially we talked about it in the ICC preview about the Titans specific style. They like to play these picks. They're kind of branching out, but that's something they do like to do. But on the other side, NCI have this experience that not a lot of other teams in the division did have, and they can kind of rely on that. We've seen them diversify in terms of strategies. So maybe that's something that can work to their advantage in this longer best-of-5 series.
Yeah, and as well, we're going into that 5-ban system, which we haven't used in the tournament. So you start to take away a lot more of those picks. There's a lot more you can kind of do with it. And particularly, you know, we're looking at Neurofox, big assassin player, that Echo Steel against, well, on the Fox, I suppose. It was really big for them as well. So you've got a lot of champions you can kind of take out of the pool. And I'm really interested to see what they do decide to go with, particularly as the games expand and we get to that 5 games. How do they evolve throughout the series? Because I think there's going to be a lot of chopping and changing as they figure out one strat, figure out how to play against another, and then really see how they clash.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like, talk about the champion pools, I guess. I mean, it's kind of weird because I think the top lane is where like a lot of the teams have had overlap because like all the top laners in Div 2 just play tanks. Yeah. I mean, it's difficult to play anything else, but I mean, a lot of the times, especially the DCU Titans, they've had to like contest picks with pretty much every team they played so far this tournament, apart from NCI. So for me personally, it's going to be strange. There's not going to be NCI looking for that Ivern that they like, not going to be looking for the Leona. It's kind of these allows them a bit more freedom in terms of the picks that they want to pick up and might just force NCI to go for bans instead of picking them away a lot of the time.
Yeah, and that's why this ban phase is going to be so crucial, and I think it is going to chop and change quite a lot. And I think the jungle matchup is going to be very interesting as well. Sharks has been prone to pretty much hit or miss games. He can have great games when he gets the opportunity, but sometimes he's just lacking in that respect and ends up going a bit too far forward, giving away kills and advantages that he shouldn't have. So I'll be interested to see what Sharks has shown up today. He has that pressure on him now to show up at the land, particularly in the finals. Last time we saw it at the G Series, he did phenomenal. Will he be the same again?
Yeah, and I mean, for this team especially, considering they've got such big players at the mid and AD role, Sharks has been happy to step back into more of a supportive jungler role. Definitely not the more impactful jungler in this matchup, I think is the one way to put it. Alex Dude is very good at putting out that early pressure, whereas Sharks, like you said, has been quite hit and miss. But the shot caller for the team definitely does what the team needs. And we saw in their semi-final against UCC, in games 1 and 3, with the games they won because they lost game 2, he was camping mid, making sure that their star player, Nurha Fox, got ahead early. And from that point on, it was easy sailing for NCI.
Yeah, and that's what I think they're going to want to put pressure on. Had a quick chat with Sharks before the game, so he's got a few plans there to see if he can get ahead. I'm not going to say it while the players don't have headsets on. It's like, oh yeah, here's plan A, B, and C. Here's how to counter plan A, B, and C.
Just the DCU players with the headphones off, like,
sorry, what? Can you repeat that?
Take it all down, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like we said, we're back to kind of the experience of players like Sharks mostly, because I mean, he's played in 2 Division 3 finals, and Nurha Fox and Spectre also quite experienced as well. Like, they've seen a lot of kind of different strats, especially at these lower levels. So they, as well as that, will have a lot of their own strats kind of thing, and they'll know how to like make the adaptations. But on the other side, like I said, DCU Titans, the only team so far this tournament to have not dropped a series, but they've only won every series 2-1.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always like been like a scrap, you know, and like all their games have been really close. Actually, the least close series they had was against NCI earlier in the tournament when they could have 2-0'd it, apart from that Baron steal. So, yeah, I mean, definitely, it's going to be tough to take them down, even with a team as strong and experienced as NCI.
And speaking of the experience of the AD carry, something that was kind of lacking for me was the map rotations that were coming out for Spectre. You know, we saw him at one stage sitting with the top laner, split pushing, both soaking up XP, while the rest of the team were off and then getting engaged on. So he needs to try and figure out where he should be on the map, because a lot of the times he's kind of lagging behind where the play is and doesn't seem to be able to keep up.
Yeah, definitely. And that was kind of touched on once again in the previous show, that there can be these little miscommunications on the NCI side. Generally a team that moves around the map very well, but when they do get these mix-ups, it is pretty costly. Yeah. On the other side, DCU are a team who are known for not having a lot of practice together. They were kind of like cobbled together, and then suddenly it all just magically worked, and they're in the final now. But they're a team who aren't as heavily reliant, but they have just pretty strong players and good team fighters as well. I mean, like I said, Alex Dude good at putting out the early pressure, and now Billy Ray Dyrus in the mid lane, and Voltum next at AD carry. Very good combo. We'll see if they can match up against the powerhouses on the NCI side, but definitely, as far as the teams have gone, the ones with the best chance that we've seen in Division 2.
Yeah, definitely. And Billy Ray Dyrus has helped him out massively as well, being quite strong in the mid lane. Did struggle up against some matchups and end up giving across a lot of flashes or kills, but if he can get going, he can really start to snowball these advantages that they can get up. So I think mid lane is going to be a massively high priority for these guys, because you've already seen Sharks tends to prioritize as well. We'll have a lot of pressure with Neurofox, as you're already talking about, and you're going to want to try and relieve that for Billy Ray Dyrus, because you don't want him falling so far behind that.
Yes, certainly. And I mean, Billy Ray Dyrus has kind of always been that player who, even when he comes up against these really good mid laners, is pretty tight in not giving over those advantages. He's going to be under a lot of pressure, so we'll see just how rock solid he can be. But like, once again, it's a very good mid lane AD combo to stand up to what NCI is bringing to the table. Whether they can deliver, we'll see. I mean, once again, going back to that bot lane, Voltum Next and Colossal Christ like to play that aggressive engage style. I mean, just look at Colossal Christ as a champion pool of the Thresh, Leona, things like that. So they want those engages. And in the semi-final, NCI's bottom lane was shown up a little bit. In the game they lost against UCC, it was the bottom lane at the forefront of that, where UCC just ran rampant and took so many kills early on. So maybe a weak spot to exploit. Like, we've been singing Spectre's praises throughout the tournament, but definitely some holes being shown in the whole NCI strategy when we got to that series.
Yeah, and if you can exploit that, it could be massive, particularly, as you're saying, Spectre's such a big carry. If he can get going, that's really going to be an advantage for them. But what he does have to be careful of is, as you're saying, positions like around the map rather than team fights has been a bit spectacle. And particularly when you've got Equinox Bolex, who likes these heavy engaged champs, they're not going to give you the opportunity to make that mistake twice. And Equinox Bolex, to a certain extent, has had issues where he's actually gone in a bit too aggressive ahead of his team. But the thing is, if it's already a 4v5, they're going to win regardless of how early he goes in. So you really got to be careful around these guys, because across the board, they pull the trigger so quickly.
Yeah, and Equinox Bolex, like you said, he can kind of sometimes, miss the mark a little bit, but as far as these kind of top lane tank players goes, he has been one of the stronger ones so far this tournament. Like I said, maybe small champion pool can be called into question, especially with the 5-ban system, but when he is able to get those champions, he has been very good. We are now in the pick ban base finally. We had a couple of technical issues, but we managed to work them out. First ban on the board, going to be the Kha'Zix away from Alex, dude.
Yeah, going to be taken that way, not wanting him to be comfortable at all. Of course, kind of going for that assassin style has been very good for him, as well as Ari taken away from Nura Fox in the mid lane. So we're going to see the Oran as well. So a lot of mid lane priority. So wouldn't be surprised to see that pick up in that phase 1 of this draft. Particularly if they're going to continue to focus down Nura Fox. Wouldn't be surprised to see something like that Echo ban come through that we're already talking about.
Yeah, the Ari has been taken away from the whole tournament because he came in known as an Ari one trick, but he's fallen back in the Echo, and now it's to the point where you have to ban that too, which obviously opens up the picks for the rest of his team. And he's shown he can play other champions. He's gone to the Orianna, the Syndra, the Vladimir.
Syndra would be a big
the Shield's going to be the last ban away from Fulton next, though. Hasn't been too key for them, but I mean, he has been strong on it, especially in the early stage in the tournament when the Jhin was strong, so maybe just wary of that one. I'm not sure if he played it when these two teams last met, but yeah, definitely a nice spread of bans from NCI. Vlad, once again, 3 bans away from Nura Fox.
A Syndra first pick here. You've got rid of the Echo, you got rid of the Vladimir, and you get Nura Fox on a very strong assassin in that mid lane. I think that should be the first pick up here. Whether they decide to go for it, I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to see. But actually, no, gonna take the Nautilus away from Quinny.
Yeah, we were talking about the Nautilus being his champ, and NCI, I think King Baldy, happy to play that one. Once again, another big tank player, even if he has coming in as a substitute now at the starting roster for the team. Quinny has a couple of fallbacks, I think it's the Poppy mainly, but we'll see if that's what he goes to. It does leave the Iron open for DCU, and that's something they have taken on every opportunity and had a lot of success with. Galio going to be the response, though. That's another thing that he's been kind of just adding to the champion pool pretty recently. Definitely in his wheelhouse, big tank player, kind of a big impact in these fights.
Yeah, and I was actually going to say, when you were talking about the Poppy, he's won into this Nautilus matchup several times before because he just knows how it works. Be interesting to see if he can have the same impact on the Galio, and alongside that, the Ivern. So there is so much protection coming in from the carries on DCU. You've got the reduced damage and the shields. It's going to be so nice. So we were talking about the Syndra. It's going to be very difficult to burst down anyone on the side of DCU, but I think it's still too strong to just leave over to Billy Rydars.
Yes, certainly. I think the Orianna ban goes a bit of a ways, but what NCI should have a strat. The Talia actually going to be the one taken there. Nura Fox, I'm not sure if he has played at this tournament. He might have actually played it over the course of GamerCon. I'm just trying to remember the champions in the head. But yeah, I mean, a champion that we see occasionally now at this point was very strong a while ago. A good wave clear if that's what they want, but it's not something I would have expected them to really go for.
Yeah, and the thing is, actually, I was going to say Lulu is still open, which is a big pickup for them in the support role. But now you've got to decide on the other side, what do we go for in DCU? Do you go for the support, pick up something like the Nami so you can deal with the Lulu poke? Or do you give up the mid lane? Because there's so many bans that have come into the mid lane. You're really going to struggle in this if you don't pick up the mid laner, but then your bottom is going to be in a lot of trouble. They are going to go with the mid lane, but that means, as you were saying, the bottom lane that's already been a struggle for DCU now has so much more pressure if they decide to focus onto that support ban.
Yeah, they can really go after the champion pools of Ultim next, and even Colossal, who came into the tournament like a bit of a Thresh one trick, but showed he could play the Leona, and now he's moving into the more of those peel-based supports. But even then, he's still more at home on those kind of engage-heavy ones, and I mean, Thresh Leona, pair of bans, could really, deny him a lot of what he wants. Lucian going to be taken away from Spectre. I'm surprised that got through. That's a champion that he picks whenever it's available, but not picked in the first round of picks, so DCU going to ban that one away. We'll see what the response is here from NCI.
Yeah, I would like to see them prioritize the support. Yeah, there it is, the Thresh ban coming through, as you were saying. Probably would ban a second one. Wouldn't be surprised to see something maybe like a Caitlyn ban coming through as well, just completely pinch. Because, of course, they have first pick here. So maybe deny Ezreal, Caitlyn, and pick the other for yourself. For Voltum next, it means that then there's a lot kind of just taken away off the board. And for Spectre will really kind of struggle. It's actually going to be the Zac. So not wanting Sharks to get his hands on that in the jungle.
Yeah, it's something Sharks plays, and probably the most effective thing that he's picked up so far this tournament. His Rek'Sai has been solid, but I don't think it's been as impactful as the Zac, especially when it comes to those team fights. So denying that one from him, we'll see what he goes to. Last ban coming in here for NCI. Will we see another support ban, or will they go after Bolton next a little bit? Keeping in mind the Spectre still has to pick.
They
no
don't
ban
actually
coming in.
over the ban.
That's an interesting one. Okay, so the Leona's still up if Colossal wants it, or he might look for something different into the Lulu. Lulu just generally tricky to play against.
Yeah, see, the problem is if you pick Leona into Lulu, one, there's a lot of poke, and two, when you go in, it's too easy to whimsy the AD carry and then just get rid of them. So, yeah, no. So it makes it difficult. I'm just going to happen, okay? I know, okay?
And Lulu's in meta now, so it's just all the time.
W, okay? Yeah. We just stick with W. But it means that then it's incredibly hard to follow up on whatever the Leona wants to do. But as we were saying, Caitlyn, Ezreal, the two AD carries that are open, both picked up first. We're going to have to see what they do decide to lock in for Sharks. The Rek'Sai is still open, which I wouldn't be surprised to see locked in. Has had great success in the past and just suits so well because you've got the depth charge already there to lock down one. Super easy. Follow up, get the knock up again with the Lulu, and Billy Ray and Bolton next are going to drop. But actually, going to be the Olaf pick up for him, and as we were saying, easy to follow up on the amount of the CCs that's coming through. Plus with the Lulu, that's going to be one beefy Olaf running at you.
Yes, one of the Sharks classics coming out there, the Olaf. Leona going to be hovered here by DCU in reply. We'll see if they go for it. That's a potentially dangerous lane, but you're playing into Ezreal and Lulu, so I mean they're always tough to kill no matter what the situation is, but they are going to go for that. It does add to their team fight potential in any case, and I mean they've got the protection for the AD carry or the mid laner if they wish. They have the big engage now. Either the Leona or the Galio can really make that happen. So, I mean, DCU could be geared for these big fights later on.
Yeah, they have a lot of lockup potential, particularly for one person. You've got the Root Caller, you've got the Leona there, and of course you've got the Syndra with the Scatter of the Week coming through as well. So there's a lot there if someone's out of position, and particularly I'm looking at Neurofox as well. Talia, not the most mobile mage, so if any of these lands, it's going to be incredibly difficult. I'd actually like him to see him take the cleanse instead of the exhaust here. I think there's so much coming your direction, particularly when you've got an easy setup with the jungler and Syndra there. I think you just need to keep yourself safe in lane and try and push through until the later stages of the game. Talia, very strong in shoving in the waves and then roaming elsewhere with the Weaver's Wall, but you're not going to be able to do that if you're so far behind. So I think the cleanse would just be better option in this case, but he's opted for the exhaust. We'll have to see if it does end up saving him from the ganks that were without a doubt coming his direction.
Yes, certainly. It's very situational, I think, how it works. I think the cleanse could have been nice, like you said, a lot of CC, but the exhaust as well, just pop that on the Syndra before the combo comes in, and you could be good. But then if you're stunned, once again, you can't exhaust.
See, that's the thing. Syndra's combo is outranges exhaust, so you can't actually get in range to stop it, so it makes it so much more difficult to play against. It's up to the misplay on Syndra to actually get the exhaust off. You won't actually be able to use it usually in lane, and once the Syndra gets popping off, yes, the exhaust goes down, but there's still so much she can do.
Yes, certainly, and I mean, we'll see how it works out. We are heading onto the Rift here for Game 1 of the Division 2 ICC final between the NCI Panthers and the DCU Titans. Both these teams looking away, take away the trophy. We'll see how it goes here. What kind of level 1 strats both teams look to pull out?
Yeah, at the moment, it just looks like they're fanning out. Nothing too crazy happening. You can see Olaf starting up towards that top side of the map. Just making sure that there's no crazy business happening. Of course, Ivern can start that Root Caller along with the Leona. There's quite a bit of CC coming through if you want to start traps on the Caitlyn as well. Someone's probably going to die. So they aren't going to go pushing through too far, though. Going to take it nice and easy, set up the defenses, and let's see where the first bit of pressure is, because with Ivern starting on the top, I think he'll be looking to swing in towards the mid, because top lane, you're not going to get too much done. Galio's got a lot of taunts, CC escapes as well, so it makes it a bit more difficult, whereas the mid lane is prime for picking.
Yeah, certainly, and I think one thing to watch out for is the Ivern 3-buff start, you know how Ivern can very easily pull that off. NCI, like we said, pretty savvy teams in terms of Division 2, so they should have some kind of counter strat to deal with that. Right now, they have Shax on the bottom side. Nurha Fox waiting over towards that blue buff. Alex Dude, though, on his own blue on the other side. So we'll see how he chooses to play that out over the next while. I'm not sure if he really wants to find Shax here. It looks so far that NCI could get away with this with both their buffs intact, just considering where both teams have started.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be going for a 3 buff. It makes it a little bit more difficult, particularly in the top side where you're looking at the Nautilus should be pushing in that little bit more. He has the E for the wave clear, whereas Galio can kind of answer, but should definitely be going in the Nautilus's favour. So it means that then it becomes a little bit more difficult for Nautilus, for Ivern to get in there because they don't really have the lane pressure. But we'll have to see. Maybe they do decide to go for it. You can see Olaf on his Raptors, so will be a little bit of time before he gets up into that top quadrant of the jungle.
Yeah, Alex Dude has beaten him to the punch in getting over that side of the map. Early trades in the top lane, definitely in favor of Quinny. He hits that early level 2 here. Looking to have a big up on the Galio. So far, going pretty well. We talk about these tank matchups, how Nautilus is generally the one with the advantage, but Quinny doing a good job so far of laying down the law in that top lane and putting the pressure on King Baldy.
And this is what we've seen time and time again from Quinny. If the Nautilus has played into him, it doesn't matter. He just has an answer for it. He knows when to trade because he's played it so often, and it doesn't help that King Baldy is staying for a prolonged amount of time in those winds of war.
Yes, certainly. A lot of pressure on him. We'll see what he can do with it getting pushed in. Can be kind of difficult to get that CS under the tower as the Nautilus. Sharks, though, making his way to that top side as the Olaf. And has a really good angle on this. It's going to be a long way back for Quinny to get to that tower, considering how far he is pushed in. Shark's going to look to make this happen now. Quinny going to jump to him. Ghost is actually popped. The hook going to pull the Galio back, forcing the flash out. Quinny managed to keep a lot of health in the health bar there, but they have the summoner down. Oh! First blood! Right back to the bottom lane. First blood over to Voltum next. Alex Dude making his own gank at him and takes the kill.
And that's the thing. Look at the amount of CC that comes through with these 3 champions. Colossal, the double CC coming through, Root Caller for Alex Dude, the traps for Voltum next, and the amount of damage Caitlyn does when she gets all these headshots off means that a super soft Lulu is just going to drop in no time.
Yeah, Lulu not really having enough in the shield just yet, enough of the defensive abilities to really get Dank Meeps out of that. At first blood on the Caitlyn, very good start here for that DCU bottom lane. They can make it happen. Gonna look at a replay of exactly how this went down.
Yeah, you can see they're extending a little bit far up. They're trying to get the pressure down onto Colossal Christ. But the second the Ivern starts to move in, Dank Meeps gets locked up. It's easy follow-up as well, and then just goes through the entire way, flashes over the trap, but it doesn't make a difference in the end. There's just too many of them there and too much damage to take him down.
Quinny TPing back to top lane, so maybe looking to keep that pressure up on that side. King Baldy still has both his summoners himself, so maybe forced to respond with the TP if Quinny can kind of force him out of lane here and keep that wave pushed. You can see immediately laying down the herd as he goes back. Sharks, though, once again, he could be once again just primed to go back to that top lane, but right now...
Or mid.
Hovering around mid, Feely Ray, I think he's wary of where that Olaf is, playing close enough to his tower, and Sharks maybe scoping for that gank, nothing happening there.
Yeah, and this is the thing, if Baldy tries to back in the top lane as well, it actually becomes quite difficult because Quinn can shove in that lane so quickly, and when you're this far up underneath the tower, you're going to lose a lot of CS just because the 8 seconds back. So he's got to be careful, but that's the thing, he's taking so much punishment the entire time he's up here. It's a good thing he's back now. When he shouldn't be able to shove in this wave fast enough, should get the TP off now.
Yeah, he can recall, teleport back. Has those items as well to just give him a little bit of extra beefiness and survivability against the hurt that's coming out of this Galio, and teleport is used. So both top laners trading. That will be TP advantage in favor of Quinny in a few minutes' time, but right about now, that doesn't really matter. Alex Dude looking to take a few jungle camps, as Ivern tends to do here. Was, like I said, already had success with the ganks, now looking to see if he can counter jungle and what kind of advantages he can get off of that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He also knocked onto the Scribe ward, Scribe Plant. That's the word I was looking for. Scry
Vision-y thing.
So vision thing. Oh, there. It means that then Olaf is going to be in the bot lane because he knows he hasn't seen him up there. So that's why you immediately see the DCU bot lane back away, because they know that Olaf is down there. There's something fishy could be about to happen, but it looks like they might be looking for a bit of fishiness themselves as they're moving up through that river towards mid.
Yeah, Voltum next was actually the one leading the charge and runs right into Italia there. So takes a little bit of damage for his trouble, but is going to back off. DCU with a good grasp over the river right now, so they can make a play for the Drake if they want so, but it's a Cloud Drake. They're going to commit too much to that. Rather just return to these standard lanes, which seem to have been going quite well so far. Spectre is keeping up in CS despite giving over that first blood. The tier, though, means not a lot of pressure there for that NCI bottom lane. Maybe just at the mercy of what Voltum Next and Colossal are doing, especially when they get that level 6 point and the Solar Flare comes down.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You can already see Ivern and Syndra prioritizing that bot lane. They started moving down, realized the wave was going to be shoving in, but they are looking to make this work with Beely Ray now hitting that level 6 point. This ultimate is going to be such a big factor, particularly as you're saying, the CC in that bottom lane. The flash has been blown on the Lulu, will be up now shortly, so should hopefully be able to get away from anything coming their direction. But there's a lot they can do on this bottom side as well when he's TP up very soon. I think we're going to have a party in that bottom side of the map.
Alex too spots an Olaf in his jungle, bringing out Daisy actually here. They're going to go for the party on Sharks, and there's so much damage so quickly. Beely Ray takes the kill away. 2 now on the board for DCU. Very good early game for them.
And that's the thing, why Sharks in that part of the jungle? His Nautilus is shoved in underneath the tower, Neurofox is underneath the tower as well. He just gets collapsed on instantly and there's nothing he can do. DCU have now moved up into the mid lane, might try and make something happen, but it looks like Alex Dude has just set his sights on the blue buff, and this is going to seriously hurt the Talia. We are already saying Beely Ray wants to start making these roaming plays when he's got the pressure, because he's got the extra mana to wave clear. It's going to be massive.
Root Collar not going to connect from Alex too, so King Baldy's safe once again. That looked pretty scary for a moment. If that had landed, the Nautilus could have been in a lot of trouble, but nothing happening there. Alex Dude just going to go back to farming his jungle, but like you said, took the blue buff away, which is going to give Beely Ray another advantage in that mid lane. You can see him trading quite well, but doesn't have the ultimate up. Wants to watch out for the damage coming out of Neurofox. Flash forced out of that Syndra there, so Neurofox not backing down after the Syndra was given a kill.
Yeah, and it's smart play by him. He knows the ultimate's down. He knows this is his opportunity to be aggressive. Forces the flash, and was well needed by Beely Ray, because if he got that slow as well, Talia can chase you down so easily.
Yes, certainly. So, despite getting that kill, he is going to come back to lane. No summoners on him, so we'll see if Fox can trade it back. This mid lane has been quite even, and I mean, this kind of harkens back to how Fox has been on top of the mid lane for most of the tournament, but Beely Ray showing that he is not to be trifled with as easy as the other mid laners in Division 2. And like you said, taking that kill away from Sharks on the invade, he puts him in even better position to fight against his Talia.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He doesn't have a blue buff either, so it makes it incredibly hard to push back against what she's doing. Now that they know that Talia's gone back to get the mana, they set their sights on the dragon, and there's nobody's going to try and get in there for this. It's Cloud Drake, they just give it up, but it does set them up nicely for the next one.
Easy peasy, neutral objective over to DCU. Cloud Drake will help them move around the map a little bit. Not the biggest prize they could have taken away. Colossal, though, very far forward. Sharks and Dagny's going to try and catch him out. Solar Flare does come down, and Voltum Next is nearby to help his support to safety, so nothing going there. Colossal happy to play aggro there, not any in real danger.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen the Peacemaker used to actually bring peace. But yeah, they're going to have a pretty big advantage in this bottom lane. Already a wave advantage up in CS to the Caitlyn, which is basically how you see this early lane going, particularly after that first back. Here's one bot, not an awful lot of pressure, particularly when the Caitlyn is able to stand behind the minions. You can't really get those Sheen procs off with the Mystic shots, so she's just going to be so safe in this lane. But again, I really like this play. Shove into the tower, back up again. They're not giving Sharks the opportunity to get anywhere near this bot lane to try and even up, because they're just playing so safe.
Yeah, and Sharks, everywhere he's gone, he's been met with resistance, not been able to get these ganks off, tried to get into the enemy jungle and gave over his life for it. Not going so well for him, and NCI generally find a lot of success in that early to mid game, almost information game. Sharks plays aggressive, especially on champions like Rek'Sai, gets a lot of info for his team, makes the ganks happen, gets his strong lanes ahead, and it works out. But this time, it just really has not worked out, and you can see it in almost a 2k goal lead despite no towers going down yet.
But it looks like actually Colossal Christ manages to get past the Weaver wall just in time. See, NCI are eager to make these plays happen, but right now, the execution just isn't there for them. And now that's going to give Syndra more free time in this mid lane to pick up a bit more CS, pick up the XP that she needs, and at any point in time, she's going to be free to wander down. Has got the wave pushed into the turret, so might try and look to do so. When he traded back and forth, was actually lucky with the previous trade. He got locked up underneath the tower, didn't quite have the mana on King Baldy to throw down the depth charge, but we'll have to be careful that where he trades in lane, because you don't want to give away a silly kill like that.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of times Quinny in lane can be prone to a little bit of over-aggression, especially when he has a lead in a matchup. Just tries to push an advantage a little bit too bit. I mean, he has 2 Doran's rings right now as well, so he's not exactly doing too great in terms of items. Needs that recall to come in first. Meanwhile, look the CS advantage though. I mean, it's over 30 CS in favor of that Galio. He's received a little bit of help from his jungler, but that's just been on the back of him constantly pushing in the wave, not really being punished for it for the most part. And it's going so well for them in that top lane, as long as the leads they have in the other 2 lanes.
And this is the thing about the Galio pick I really like into Olaf, because the Olaf wants to go one way, directly at your backline, but the thing is the Galio lays down this zone of controls like, you shall not pass, and the rest of his team are like, okay, we gotta leave you, sorry, you go do your thing. And that means it's so easy for the rest of DCU to focus down this Olaf. He's not going to be able to survive particularly long if you've got a Syndra and a late game Caitlyn wailing down on you, and this is going to be so hard for them to take these team fights, because if the Olaf goes in too far, he's got no way to come back out. And as you're seeing again, Alex Dude is just having free reign of Sharks' jungle right now. To be honest, I think I would have preferred him to smite the blue rather than the Gromp. Would have been able to pick it up, but he set his sights on top lane. Yeah,
Root Caller going to connect. Out comes Daisy, and they're going to do everything they can to try and lock up this Nautilus. But the damage isn't really there, and he has the dredge line to get back to tower. This Nautilus, quite tanky at this point. Going to be tough for just the Galio and the Ivern to take him down.
Yeah, it's interesting to see him going for the Bammy Cinder, though, particularly with the amount of AP damage that comes out from this Galio and from the Ivern as well. Actually going to have to see Alex Dude if he can get in and get the smite, but he's not even going to try. Yeah, I think taking away the blue buff is a much better choice there than the Gromp. You deny so much from this Talia if you can do it.
Yeah, he was in the perfect position to, once again, make sure that Nurha Fox cannot get a blue buff all game long, but doesn't choose to go for it. Maybe look for that gank topside. Didn't work out. And now that Talia finally has that mana regen maybe needed to really fight it out with Billy Ray in the mid lane here. And I mean, we've seen Nurha Fox likes to play aggressive, go for that trades. Billy Ray has those defensive tools back up, as well as the damage with that Syndra ultimate. But even so, once again, we've seen how well Nurha Fox punishes these missteps. We still got the knockback there, but not just to follow it. My heart skipped a little bit, but I mean, definitely, Billy Ray has been playing solid so far, but now Nurha Fox finally has the mana regen to maybe make something happen.
Yeah, and I kind of want to look at the Ezreal build a little bit here. He's kind of going for a bit of everything. Usually you kind of get the tier, and with the new style Ezreal, you build up into that Blade of the Rune King. The attack speed, the extra AD, and the lifesteal, all are just phenomenal. And actually, never mind that Sharks.
Oh, also going to look for the engage. Sharks to focus, wall growth on him, but he's still taking quite low. Exhaust going to help him out in his escape, as that Syndra ultimate does virtually nothing. Olaf just too fast to make it away here, despite all the CC coming in, and DCU looking for that aggressive pick. Quinny actually making the teleport to that bottom side, but Sharks was already far enough away that it didn't matter. And DCU, aggressive plays, but NCI managed to avoid it.
Yeah, and that's kind of it again. Sharks getting caught out, forces the Ragnarok in, the Ghost gets him out, but you've got to be so careful. You don't have the vision to get into that river, particularly when Dragon is up in just a few moments. You know DCU are going to be wanting that. They're going to be in that area just play safe, get in with your team, rather than being caught out by yourself.
Yes, certainly, and a lot of summoners blown, like you said, but not giving over the kill. However, this goal lead, no towers are going down, no kills are being taken, but it's just slowly creeping in favor of DCU.
But it tastes so good.
The taste of victory, yeah. But I mean, yeah, and like if it keeps going like that, when it gets to these fights, there will just be that little advantage that can make or break it. Sharks once again taking a lot of damage from Voltum next. With the Dragon being up, if DCU choose to go for that, it's risky for Sharks to really make a play for it. In this case, in DCU, the 4 members around that bottom side of the map doing a good job of just keeping it constantly on lockdown, especially his bottom lane. Look at it roam aggressively. Oh man, that Zenith Blade was so close. He could have been done for that. He's going to attack with the Root Collar. Ace the hole. Not going to be blocked up. Wild Growth, though, does come in once again to save the Olaf. A DCU just constantly going after Sharks, trying to take him off the map.
I didn't even know Root Collar reached that far. That was insane, but wiping the Olaf out of his own jungle means that you're going to be able to pick this up so easily. You can see there are a few members of NCI around. See if they can sneak something, but yeah, it's not going to happen. It's an easy pickup. And that's 2 Drakes now over to DCU. No, the towers haven't gone down, but the objective control is definitely in DCU's favor.
Yes, certainly. Those 2 Cloud Drakes means they can run around very fast at the very least. I mean, it helps though if they like to move for those towers. I mean, it's nice.
And the Olaf, just hiding back becomes so much easier with those. So it does have some advantages in this, particularly when you're trying to step back. You've got a lot of shields coming through from the Iron as well to keep you alive. So that extra move speed could be the difference between the cooldown on the next shield or you falling. But I think very soon now we're going to see some plays coming through for one of these towers because they've been standing just that little bit too long. The Caitlyn has so much money in her pocket as well. The Runes Hurricane completed. Going to be backing for those Berserker's Graves, but Quinny has found some trouble.
Yeah, Sharks looking back top lane for the Galio here. Flash is available for Quinn if he wants it, and so is Alex Dude to join the fight here. King Baldy already very low. Redemption going to drop that health bar a little bit more, but once again, the defensive tools for NCI means they are just fine getting back to tower and no more kills coming in on that top lane. It's tough to take anyone down when it comes to these ganks.
Yeah, and this is kind of what you're talking about, though. You were talking about the slow chipping away, the slow increases, and bit by bit, it's actually NCI losing. Tower in top lane below half health. Tower in bot lane starting to creep up. NCI are the ones who need to make the plays.
Sharks once again just too far forward, and this time he is taken down. Billy Ray Dyrus with the kill. Galio just going to join the fight with the heroic entrance, even though he was already there. But another kill for DC, another kill on this Syndra, which means these mid-game fights, a lot of damage is going to be coming out of Billy Ray.
And this is what I wanted to say, is that NCI have to make the plays to get back into this. It's going to be on them because you've got a super scaler with the Caitlyn. Yeah, you've got the Ezreal to answer, but I mean, there's a lot in the Syndra. The Ivern has offers so much protection. Ooh, the flash for Billy Ray.
Nurha Fox once again. Ultimate's down, so he just immediately goes aggressive, gets that summoner, and has a bit of pressure in this mid lane now, so needs the support of his team on the side of Billy Ray. But look how low that tower is in the bottom lane. They've just been allowed to push it 2v2. The Ezreal can't really do anything. Few more waves might just do the trick here for DCU.
Yeah, and that's all it'll take. Dank Leaps is going to back as well. I'm not sure that's the time you want to back. Colossal Christ is so tanky, particularly on Leona. The ultimate will be available. They could have gone for it. Instead, they're going for the tower, and Dank Leaps back. Easy first break.
Easy as you like. There was no way Spectre was defending that. Way too risky. If he gets caught out, he's in a lot of trouble. And even then, there was nothing he could really do to clear the wave out. So, first brick goal, and that's a pretty big spike. They got that kill, they got that tower, and considering how slow-paced this game has been, that is a nice advantage. And making the rotation to the mid lane, DCU very quick on the movement towards that side. And I don't think this tower is going to be lasting long either.
DCU are playing this so smart. Move the bot lane to mid. Billy Ray goes top because they spot Sharks in the ward. They are manipulating everything NCI are able to do right now to a T.
Yeah, and Nurha Fox once again playing aggressive to try push DCU away from the wave, away from the tower. I don't think I've seen Sharks use his Ragnarok aggressively at all this game. He's just constantly being forced to use it in an escape from DCU, who seem to be able to find him time after time and put him under real pressure.
Yeah, and this is the thing. There's just more pressure mounting on them. You're going to see the bot lane back. They should be moving up towards that top side of the map. Help Quinny to try and take that top third. Instead, looks like they're going to be going towards the bottom, collect that farm. That will be about to hit that turn in just a few moments.
Yeah, big wave bot. Voltum next says, gimme, gimme. Always nice to have the farm in the Caitlyn here, but like I said, they can go back to that mid lane because they already did so much damage to it. They could go to that top lane, force that lane swap and push it in. We'll see them actually once again around Drake, seeing if they can catch Sharks. Root Caller comes in. Not sure they have the numbers game in their favor, but they have a lot of damage on the Olaf to start this off. Nurha Fox looking for Beely Ray at the back. Gets a good bit of damage down himself, but the Syndra is A-OK for the moment. DCU constantly forcing these aggressive plays. I really enjoy seeing it because they're just so in your face all the time to NCI, knocking them off their game, and it's working out so well for them.
Yeah, I think I would like to see him pull the trigger on that solo affair, though. They had the pick, they had the fight in their favor, but they just don't end up taking it. Now, this is kind of a sight that we've expected this game. Quinny shoving in towards this top side again. That tower is dropping lower and lower. King Baldy has got that armor there to start tanking this up, so he'll be quite happy to just let those minions wail away on him.
Yeah, for all the pressure that Quinny has had, hasn't really materialized into damage on that tower. It's still sitting on a decent amount of health, and I don't think the Galio will be tearing through it anytime soon. But DCU, they're not totally overwhelmingly in control. Yeah. That's a 5k goal lead that they've got, mostly off of CS advantage, especially in that top side. They're able to get the first brick, and they also have those two Drakes as well, but NCI making a rotation of their own, grouping a couple of members mid, and they've got a good bit of damage down on this tower.
Yeah, too many members of DCU back, and it's just an easy pickup for them. You can send both of your carries back at the same time, because that's what's happened. No wave clear, no damage. It's an easy fight. Or sorry, easy pickup, but it looks like we might be looking for a fight instead.
Yeah, Dragon up in 5 seconds. Another Cloud Drake. We got the triple Cloud to start this game off, which is not sure DCU would have really liked it considering the Dragon pressure they've had, but I mean, they could just walk straight back there, and NCI scared to get too close in this one, but
Caitlyn's in the
DCU,
mid lane though.
Maybe not thinking. We're going to see the teleport actually coming out. It's going to be cancelled here. Caitlyn, like you said, mid lane pushing that down, so they get the goal at the very least. Weaver's wall going to block them off. Nice job from Nurha Fox. Quinny now making his own teleport.
Oh, he steals it!
It's stolen by Alex, dude. Goes in and takes the third Cloud Drake, making sure there's nothing for NCI. Good job from the Ivor to take that one away.
And they've got position on mid lane. The rest of NCI are completely out of position. These guys are going to start shoving this in so quickly. Caitlyn will start wailing away that IE complete. She will hurt. Spectre's the only one in position, but here comes the fight.
Sharks once again stunned up Ragnarok instantly to get the safety. The story of this game so far, and like you said, so much damage already down on that mid tower because DC were able to make the rotation. 3 Cloud Drakes coming into play meant they could get there quicker than NCI ever really could. And now, Quinny's top lane pressure, you can see him chipping away. That tower is also low. A lot of standing gold ready for the taking on the map. But DCU could extend this lead even further.
And that's the thing. They're 5k up, but we haven't had a single team fight. Everything has just been both teams disengaging. The second that kicks off, that's when you're really going to see the power that DCU have, unless they end up out of position, taking a poor fight. But it's going to be on the likes of King Baldy to really make that pick happen. And when he's dealing with this big Galio in the top lane, trying to save the last remaining outer third, there's no way he's going to be in position to try and make that happen.
Yes, certainly. Sharks hanging around that top side of the map, so they have a little bit of help for him if Quinny continues his push, which we assume he certainly will. But Sharks, I mean, his ganks so far in that top lane have not had an impact. Quinny, especially with that flash up, is safe as you like. He has more members with them if they want to make that rotation, but I'm not sure how good of a call that is. They're losing a lot of pressure in other areas of the map. That Dragon isn't down, but so many holes for NCI to keep an eye on, risk losing those 2 towers that are low. It's just a lot of like big headaches, I think, for them to like have to deal with so much that the pressure that DC are applying.
Yeah, this is the thing, you know, Voltum next has kind of been running around like a headless chicken. You can see the calls aren't quite there. Are we top? Are we mid? Right now NCI are the one dictating They want to go for this top lane, but I don't know. This could be the fight.
Sharks, Root Collar comes in. Going to be taunted up by Quinny at the start of this, and Voltamix free hitting from the back of the fight. Wildgrowth going to help the Olaf out. Daisy going to join the fight and do what she can. And Sharks is still the focus. Ragnarok down, not going to be enough. Alex Dude with the kill. Quinny has to flash away as the damage comes in from NCI, but he is just fine, even through the true shot barrage. Daisy tanking up at the front. Should drop in a second, but King Bolly does go down. Voltamix wants to watch out. Spectre meanwhile dies to Billy Ray off at the side, and almost out of nowhere, DCU pick up 3.
And that's what we were saying. DCU were so far ahead, but we couldn't see it until the fight. 3 versus 4 in the beginning of that, and they were just destroying Sharks. The health bar was gone before the redemption even came down. It was the pickup for the Ivern there, and this is not going to be the top tower. Actually, I thought they could have pushed in for that, but they're opting to try and push in towards this jungle, in towards that mid lane as well. But this is what I'm saying. Kills are great, but they haven't really got the objective head on them. They don't know where to follow.
Yeah, they might be looking for a dive here if Billy Ray can push the wave in. They're actually going to go for it now. Pull the trigger. Flash from Fox. Only going to be flashing to his doom as Billy Ray now on a rampage. 4 kills for this Syndra. The tower will go down afterwards. They have a Nura Fox off the map for the next 40 seconds as well. A lot more control now for DCU.
Never should have questioned DCU. Yep. It was all an elaborate ruse. The bait comes through. They pick up the kill, pick up the tower, and where are NCI right now? They're down on the bottom side. King Baldy has been forced away from the tower. That's a tier 2. That's 2 towers for absolutely nothing.
Yeah, no way Nautilus is defending this on his own. Now NCI moving the members over, but even so, like you said, that tower already chunked to join with that one in the mid lane. There's so many options for DCU in terms of pushing towards that base, and now with that top tower down gives them even more control on that barren area of the map because they don't have to worry about the top tower, and things now just falling very nicely into place. Oh, as soon as I say that, Voltamex walks right to the end of the team. Net gonna get him out though. Sharks now looking for the engage. It gets the kill finally onto the Caitlyn. Colossal gonna jump in, see if he can get the stuns off and hope his team can do the damage, but I don't think it's there. Double kill for Sharks in this fight as Alex Dew drops. Colossal surely to be the next one. That one's donated over to Spectre. And finally, 28 minutes in, NCI have kills on the board right at the Baron.
Yeah, that was all down to Voltamex going too greedy, trying to get the kill, gets himself picked up. The depth chart comes through and keeps him on the front line. Arcane Barrage sweeps across, and after that, there's just no damage. B-Ray, yes, has 4 kills, but you're a Syndra. You're not going to be able to take down the likes of King Baldy on the front line. This big, beefy tank has the Spirit Visage complete, and right now, NCI are gunning it down mid.
Yeah, looking to see if they can take that second mid tower there, but Billy Ray is up in time and has the wave clear necessary, and that tower doesn't really take too much damage. Gonna have a look at the fight again, see how this broke out.
Breeds onto the Lulu, ends up getting caught up here because the depth charge comes across from the Nautilus flank, and it's an easy pick up there. The Reaver Wall comes through to deliver Talia into the fight, and then it's just picking people off. The redemption is enough to save them. They take down Ivern, and then Leona tries to run away, but it's not enough. Spectre picks up a kill on the backside of that, and now it's starting to look a little bit more even. DC were running away with it, but back down to a 7k lead.
Yeah, back down to that 7k lead indeed, but that's still a lot of wiggle room for DCU to work with. Next Drake, I'm seeing Cloud on the board, but I believe we've already had 2 or 3 this game. 2?
Yeah.
I can't count.
So this is actually going to be a Mountain Drake, and they're already going to start it up. You can see Neurofox has put the vision down, now hoping to, hear that out a little bit as he tosses the stones over the wall, but Neurofox needs to be careful.
They make the jump!
He steals it! Sharks comes in with the steal, and this is
getting the Mountain Drake, and now NCI are looking for the fight right onto Voltamex. They do get the Lulu at the start of the side of DCU. There's Caitlyn somehow kiting it out. Sharks is going to go down next, and they cannot get to Voltamex. King Baldy doing anything he can at the front of the fight, but it's not enough, and Quinny going to take his lane opponent down. They lost the Drake, but now they took the fight and might be running towards that Baron.
Yeah, they are. Ivern will have enough shields to keep himself alive. Daisy can also tank for just a little bit. They're running towards this Baron. 30 minutes in, DCU are looking in a commanding position.
Yeah, definitely. If NCI cannot get to that Caitlyn, there is no chance for them. And Voltamex just stayed alive. I don't know how. So much focus on that Caitlyn. but he perseveres, wins the fight for DCU. This is going to be Baron over to them. Look at this fight again, and how does Caitlyn survive?
Absolutely great steal coming in from Sharks, but look how split up they are. It's so easy for them to just kite back. There's nobody able to get onto the back line, and then look at that. Dank Meeves gets knocked up. Neurofox forced out of the fight because of that solar flare, and Sharks just gets melted. The heals, the shields, the everything on the Vault and Rex right now. The Redemption, Aegis, and the Ivern keep him alive in the back line. And when you were throwing everything in the kitchen sink at this Caitlyn and you still can't take him down, you know you're just in a bad place.
Yeah, we mentioned that protection that could come in for the carries of DCU in that pick ban phase. Coming up huge there. And now with that Baron buff, I mean, how many structures can they take? They already have so much damage on all of those inner towers, which means that could just be straight money coming in for DCU over the next few minutes. Maybe even if they choose to group up, they could look to make a push into the base, and that's going to have to be absolutely devastating for NCI. Oh, pick coming in. Walco's going to mean that Daggers can make it out. One more Syndra Orb finishes the job. Billy Ray, 6th kill of the game. Sharks might be the next one to fall here, but Quinny not willing to go too far on her tower. Billy Ray might want to watch where he steps as well. But the Lulu's gone. This map pressure is so crazy from DCU.
Yeah, and this is it. They're not slowing down. They've moved from objective to objective. Next is going to be Queenie going to the top side. The rest of the team are rotating to the bottom lane. Start to get the waves back in their favor there, but Queenie won't quite be able to get it to Liam. Might be able to clear. No, that cannon on the backside picks it up. So right now, DCU just completely dictating the entire map. There's no answer for NCI to get in anywhere.
Yep, the next aim seems to be just pushing in that wave bottom side and taking out all the towers outside the base, completely controlling the map in their favor. NCI still sitting on only that one tower, and they haven't really made a dent in any of the others either. It's just been so little space for them. Talia has wave clear, but they've never been able to group up, make those rotations, and push for those towers. And even when they have the one or two times, DCU have been quick on the draw to respond. Them now choosing not to step too far forward. They are with their top laners, so may just want to stay the hand a little bit. NCI not too eager to find an engage here. Dagger's coming, picked off again! The damage between the Syndra and the Caitlyn, way too much. Solar Flare not going to connect for a second. The Zenith Blade does. Sharks once again Ragnaroking to safety, but here comes Quinny. Heroes entrance to the fight. Tower going down. DCU could keep the ball rolling if they want. Still a little bit of juice left in that Baron buff.
Yeah, and actually the Reaver's wall means that the minions won't even make it to the tower, so they won't get cleared out. Oh, the snipe!
What?
Ultimax, damn!
Just picking him off out of nowhere. I was like, they nearly got him. He just made it out alive, and then, I mean, the Olaf falls. That's the inhibitor now. Base open. NCI close to 15k gold down. Is there any way back from this?
Not with that big minion wave in the mid lane as well. They can set themselves up to just rinse and repeat. There's so many creeps there, and you can't get through that. Yeah, you've got the wave clear from Neurofox, but the Baron buff is too strong right now. Billy Ray even going to tank up for a little bit, and that tower's...
Oh! Flash forward! Try to take out Spectre with the ultimate, but it's not going to be enough, and he does actually lose his life. The tower goes down, but DCU might want to make a retreat. Although Volt up next, pretty happy to stick in the pocket and do damage. Not enough to take anyone down, but even so, that's another inhib tower down, another avenue into NCI's base. Elder Drake will be on the board soon, and given the gold advantage that DCU have at this point in the game, NCI looks so desperate right now.
Yeah, and Lulu should not be in this position. Ends up getting caught out. Yeah, you want the ward down, but only when you start to push up with your team. Sharks again forced to use the Ragnarok defensively. He tries to run out, and then it's just, you know, easy pickings for DCU. The Reaver wall is a good idea here. Forces them off. But the problem is, look how low Shark takes, and just Spectre. Oh, he's like, no, sorry, I gotta go defend this.
No. I'm an AD carry, but that's your job.
I can't tank that. But it's your job, yeah. So.
Yeah, but Elder Drake up in about 40 seconds here. NCI looking to get some sort of foothold in the area, but as soon as DCU get members over, it's going to be tough for them to keep that relay. Is this where they go all in? Is this where they look for that kind of that one fight that might happen for them?
Ooh. They actually should have turned straight away onto Caitlyn there. That was possibly the answer that they had. Paulie has enough lockup, and this is what we're saying. Syndra doesn't have enough damage to really deal with this Nautilus. If they can get the pick, they have the chance, but Sharks.
Oh, Sharks once again the focus, has all the defensive tools to get him out into the back line. And Colossal might want to watch where he's standing, but the rest of his team on the way now, seeing if they can follow him up with the damage.
And he's still
not
on the top
enough
side
to finish that off. Once again, Quiddy not with the team, but has that hero's entrance if he wants to make his way over. And now the Drake's going to be started up here. The Galio sticking in the top lane, maybe looking for the teleport instead. In this case, right now DCU 4v5, but pretty happy to stay so.
Sharks can't get in. He's trying to make his way back to the base to heal. And that's just going to be it. It's going straight off. No, doesn't get the steal, but the entire time Galio is wailing away on this top turret. They don't have an answer. Minions are in the base on the Nexus turrets. NCI are just crumbling to this pressure DCU are putting out. There's no answer for it right now because they can't get the picks that they need. Voltum Next has too many defensive shields coming through, and this is going to be inhib number 2, if not the kills.
Oh, Colossal once again looking for the engaged Nurha Fox, far enough back to not get caught out, but even so, DCU, so much pressure once again, and they have all that extra damage. Not able to get the inhib on this push. Maybe just playing a little cautious. They do have all that extra stats, although Quiddy is not with the team right now. Still looking to push that top wave in. Looking to group up maybe, and this is definitely the inhibitor down at the very least here. We'll see if they can take any more from it with that Elder Drake off timing out.
Yeah, they're moving their way up towards this top side. That inhib tower has nothing left on it. It's going to fall, no problem. But this is going to have to be it. 3 turns down, it's going to screen the end, but Meeps gets caught out again.
And Quiddy flashing forward, Voltum Next once again, somehow getting the kill at the back. It's just the magic snipes coming in from him, and they get that third inhibitor down. The base of NCI completely ravaged. DCU still have a little bit left in that Elder Drake, but King Baldy is the victim of it. Sharks falls at the back as well. Only 2 left alive, and I doubt there's much they could do about it. At DCU, we had our doubts. We were saying maybe they can't handle it. NCI are too strong. Game 1 proving us completely wrong. I'm going to open up this series with a win.
DCU coming up huge and across the board. Not a single person we can fault. Quinny on the Galio, which we haven't seen him on before. Massive performance, 1-0-10. Syndra, huge in the mid lane for BD Radars. And Voltum Next, yes, a bit shaky in 1 or 2, but in general, great kiting coming out from him. Utilizing everything his team has given him to the best effect. Phenomenal game from them.
Yeah, we call the Titans a scrappy team, but that wasn't really scrappy at all. That was just very, very well methodical, slowly grinding out these advantages, taking everything that NCI was giving to him and then running with it completely. And I don't think we've really seen NCI being beaten this badly in any game so far this tournament.
No, and you could really see how methodical and slow they're going around the end. They're pushing in for that second inhib. They're waiting for the waves. Even when they have that dragon buff, it doesn't matter. They're still just going for it. They're going slow, methodical, move in together, get the inhib. Don't give them any opportunity to get back into this. And that's exactly how they just finished out the game.
Yeah, definitely. Good stuff coming out of the Titans. We are going to go to a short break, but stick around because we'll be back with the second game of this best of 5 very shortly.